There is only one moment in history that can accurately describe how I felt when I started using the Google Pixel. I didn't realize how locked up my phone experience was using iOS. But first, let's step back. Now, I have been a hardcore iOS user since 2011 when I bought the iPhone 4S, and it was a great phone. I really became a hardcore Apple fan when I ditched my lifelong use of Windows and purchased the 2014 Retina display of the MacBook Pro, and boy was it beautiful. For the first time in my life, I had a computer that worked seamlessly with my phone. Now, going back to the iPhone, over the years, it's been obvious that Apple has plateaued a little bit. Sure, every single phone, year after year, is better than the previous year. And even today, they still make one of the best phones on the market, if not the best. But then Google Pixel happened, and that is when everything changed. Now, the snooty Apple fans would always use the same line when defending the iPhone. The reason the iPhone is so superior is because Apple designed both the hardware and the software. They were correct up until now. The Google Pixel is the first phone where the hardware and software was designed by Google. And this is huge. I don't think people realize how big that is. The reason Android has always sucked is because hardware companies like Samsung would bloat the operating system with its own crappy apps and then wrap the phone up with the cheapest hardware they could build. So with all of that said, I want to show you why I love the Pixel so much. First, let's start with the hardware. Unlike the cheap build that you would get with a Samsung phone, the Google Pixel is wrapped with metal and glass. It's a very solid build. Now, the glass on the back, while it's not my favorite design choice, it is pretty nice for gripping. The phone has a very hard time falling off my hands. One of my favorite features on this phone is the fingerprint sensor built in on the back. First, it's perfectly placed. Like your finger doesn't even have to try to get there. It just naturally falls right there on the finger sensor, and it is incredibly accurate compared to the fingerprint sensor on the iPhone. The second I put my finger on this fingerprint sensor, my phone unlocks. And using Google Pay has been flawless. I use it so much more compared to when I was trying to use Apple Pay. With Apple, I noticed even when my finger was a little sweaty, my fingerprint would not work. So I'd have to keep drying my hand and then hope it works. And I got people standing behind me, and it was frustrating. I have yet to have a problem unlocking my phone or using Google Pay. That has been seamless. So they did a really good job with the fingerprint technology on this phone. Now, the camera on this is one area that the Google Pixel really shines. They use a 12.3 megapixel camera on the back, and then they have a 8 megapixel camera on the front, and the phone does shoot 4K video. The iPhone 7 Plus is known for its amazing camera, and this phone does rival that camera. The best part about the Google Pixel is that they use the same camera on both the 5-inch model and the 5.5-inch XL model, whereas Apple, you have to upgrade to the 7 Plus to get the really good camera. In most tests that I've seen, the iPhone 7 Plus does have the better camera, although the difference is very minimal. The Google Pixel did shine, however, when it came to taking photos of people. That is one area that this camera did do better on. However, when it came to video and, landscapes and everything else, the iPhone 7 does have a solid camera. I will give them that. Oh, and did I mention there's a headphone jack on here? It saddens me that I even have to point that out as a feature. Once you're in the phone, the real fun begins. The first thing you'll notice is how sharp and crisp the display is on this phone. The Google Pixel uses an AMOLED display with a higher pixel density than the iPhone 7, which is still using an LED display. So in terms of display, the Google Pixel is the best on the market right now. Now, this is the first phone that comes with Google Assistant. Now, you might be saying, I can already say, okay, Google on my phone and it tells me crap. So what's the difference here? What every other Android phone has is Google Now. And even though both Google Now and Google Assistant respond to okay, Google, that doesn't mean they're the same thing. Google Now is not necessarily Android specific. You can download it on iOS although it's kind of worthless because you have to still open up the app to use it. Google Assistant is basically the grown-up, mature, smarter version of Google Now, and it's baked into the operating system, which is really nice. Now, you can activate Google Assistant by simply saying, "Okay, Google," or you can press and hold the home button. Put simply, Google Assistant makes Siri look like a third grader, but that's not surprising because this is Google and they do know everything about your life and everyone who's in your life and everything around your life. It's very conversational, and unlike Siri, I can have it play a song or playlist from my Spotify app. Little stuff like that is what has opened my eyes to why Android is such a great operating system when companies like Samsung don't get their dirty hands on it. Another example, I could tell Google Assistant to tell my wife that I love her, and it would actually create a text to my wife that says, "I love you." If I were to ask Siri the same thing, it would create a text to my wife saying that I love her. That doesn't make any sense. Now, 3 things I use heavily in my daily life: Google Search, Gmail, and Google Calendar. And even though I could use all of these on my iPhone, there is a difference when your phone is created around these apps by the same company that makes these apps. Having my calendar and my Gmail just naturally integrated in with Google Assistant and my phone in general does make a pretty big difference. Now, because I am an avid Mac OS user, one concern I had from switching from the iPhone to Android was that I would no longer have the ability to text message from my desktop, which is very, very convenient. However, if that is important to you, the workaround to that is to simply make Hangouts the default text messaging app on your Google Pixel, and then just download the Hangouts Chrome extension on your computer, and it's like the feature never left. The battery life on the Pixel is insane and is yet another feature that outperforms the iPhone 7, especially when we're talking about the Google Pixel XL. Even with my intense usage of my Google Pixel every day, I could easily go a day and a half before needing to charge my phone. So not only does the Google Pixel outperform every other phone on the market in terms of artificial intelligence, but it's also built for VR. Google's new Daydream VR headset was built around the Google Pixel. I've tried it out, it's amazing, and I'll do a full review on that in another video. The point I'm making is that Google is clearly looking towards the future, and I don't get that vibe anymore with the iPhone. Now, before the Apple fanboys start ripping me apart in the comments section, I must restate that I think that the iPhone is an amazing phone. I think the iPhone 6 is still better than most phones out there on the market. And if you were to not buy the Google Pixel, you're an idiot for buying any other phone other than the iPhone. So I still think Apple makes a great phone. I love Apple, and there is a reason that Apple was ranked the #1 brand in the world in 2016. However, I'm smart enough to know a good product when I see one. Now, here's the official Apple fanboy test. If you suspect that one of your friends is an Apple fanboy, simply ask them about the Google Pixel. If they immediately start bagging on it and tell you what a horrible phone it is, you'll know that they are the type of idiot that would walk into the Apple store tomorrow and purchase a beautiful box of dog shit because it has an Apple logo on it. Now, I'm not saying that they have to like the Google Pixel because there are many good reasons to like the iPhone 7 better. But you are an idiot if you can't admit that the Google Pixel is a legit contender to the iPhone 7. There are many respected tech enthusiasts who have either admittedly switched to the Google Pixel or admit that it is a legit contender. And that, my friends, is why the Google Pixel has Apple pissing their pants.
Pissing our pants yet?
That is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far and you've enjoyed it, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It would mean a lot to me. Oh, and don't forget to get in a stupid fight in the comment section.